Dedication. This book is dedicated to my husband and daughter, both of whom are gifts from God. Without them, I fear I would not have been able to make it through the trials and tribulations of life. I also want to recognize my deceased friend, D.H., who taught me that life isn't always what you want, but you make the best with what you have been given. God has given and God has taken away, but through it all, God is God. Many don't believe that there is a God, but I believe that without Him, there will be no love, no light, and no tomorrow. His glorious hands and unconditional love provide us with hope. Lastly, a thank you to all the people who have loved me, challenged me, hated me, mistreated me, ignored me, and made me who I am today. Both enemies and friends have created an amazing person who is stronger than most. I have continued to love, to learn, and to give to the world around me. Life by Rebecca Wells Phillips. The stars and the moon and even the sun give birth to something we cherish and love. A birth, a baby's first breath, a blessing unknown and understood by none. Ups and downs in life's narrow way exhaust the best in every way. Can I leave? May I depart? My heart cannot withstand this evil heart. Not yet, my child, your time will come. You have much to do to finish my plan. Tears, joy, love, and hope. Take my hand and I'll be there. You are not alone, and what will be will be. Believe in me and you will see. New life known not to man. Take my hand and you will see. A life of love born from the stars, the moon, and the sun. Introduction. This book could be about any person in any town, but my story begins for me on September 12, 1971, in a small, predominantly white town in Tennessee. A beautiful town surrounded by mountains and lakes, my hometown is still plagued with predominantly white individuals who believe that dark-skinned people are different and are not equal to them in intelligence, morals, religious belief, and work ethic. However, I've moved around to different cities in both Tennessee and North Carolina, and I am thoroughly convinced that as human beings, we have a lot more in common than we think. You've heard the saying that we all bleed red, but there is much more to that statement. I believe that we are all the same when it comes to our feelings and desires toward acceptance, which forms the foundation for our self-esteem. I do not know one person who doesn't want to be loved and accepted by those closest to them. Who doesn't want to have friends and people who care about them? But what about the people who don't have anyone around to fulfill this humanly need? As I write this book, I continue to have so many unanswered questions swirling around in my brain. What if you spent your entire life searching for perfection, only to find that perfection is unattainable? What if you grew up in a family that valued what others thought of you above all else? What if the one thing you hated most was a quality about which you had absolutely no control? All my life, I've thought that if I'd been born a white woman, my life would have been as close to perfect as possible. My biggest desire was to have blonde hair and blue eyes. My friends tell me I can get blue contacts and a blonde wig, but that just won't cut it. However, as we grow older, we learn that we can't always have what we want, and that perfection truly is a myth. Growing up in first an African Methodist Episcopal Zion Church, and later a Baptist church, I was taught that only God is perfect. Therefore, as human beings, we can never be perfect, and trying to do so is a waste of time. The masses believe that they can find perfection in a hair dye bottle, in having cosmetic surgery, in taking steroids and such. We search for the perfect job or career, the perfect car, the perfect home, the perfect family, but it's all a fallacy. In pursuing such unattainable goals, we're completely blind to the gifts we've been given, which should make us happy and content with who we are. As for writing my first book, I've always wanted to write a book. I started writing one back in high school and decided I could never make it happen. At that time, I think I was too close to the pain to even write about the things I write about now. Of course, I still care about the people who hurt me, so there are no actual names in my book, except for one very positive mention. Truth be told, most of the people who hurt me probably still have no idea that they hurt me, and you'll probably find the same situation in your own life. I'm sure you disagree with me and feel that I should reveal the names of people who hurt me, but I don't believe that doing so would make me feel any better and would only cause animosity and negative energy towards me. There are multiple reasons for me to write about my life, one of which is to finally free myself from the painful and traumatic memories of my childhood. However, I can honestly say that just by putting my story on paper, my heart feels lighter and I can finally breathe. Finally free from my childhood past, I plan to proceed to the next season of my life and rejoice in the fact that I have been able to persevere through the winter season of my life. Another reason for sharing my story is so that I can start to forgive those who hurt me. The saying, forgive and forget, does not apply. I will never forget what I've experienced, but I can learn to forgive. Forgiveness is a gift that I give myself so that I can release the negativity from my life and grasp only the positive aspects of my current situation. To accomplish forgiveness, I only wish to tell you the sequence of events, but not supply enough details for you to figure out the names of the people involved. Protecting the people in my life will allow you to focus on envisioning your own circumstances, thus opening your mind to your past hurts. The actual names of my perpetrators are irrelevant because you have your own perpetrators who have torn apart your soul. I only wish to help you open the door and walk away from the pain so that you can transition to your next grand adventure.